All right, Brad Raffensperger, let's hear what he has to say. Very, very pleased with the way the vote has gone in Georgia.
We called a bonus, but I think voters deserved it. We made sure, and I led to make sure that we would have fast lines. And today you saw result of that. With our electronic poll pads, people were checking in, and we were checking it all day long, 49 seconds. We think that's awesome, and so did the voters. And then the average line time, you don't need water when your average line time is 2 minutes. So you think about that, in 3 to 5 minutes, people were ready, they had their card ready to start voting. In and out in 10 to 15 minutes. And so that happened throughout the entire state. No complaints about long lines. So we improved on performance, and we'll fight and continue to do that every day for the voters of Georgia. If you look at where we are right now, we are at 5.22 million people, total people that have cast ballots, and we had 1.2 million today, which was a record. Coming into it, we had a record for the early votes, and we had 4,033,000 votes. So you add that all up, we'll be at 5.22. I think you all know that we had some threats, but that just shows you the resilience of our system and our people. We're battle tested. All the early votes from Fulton County, in spite of some of the issues that they had due to those threats, were up by 8 p.m. And many of the other counties are at that same location and in good shape. So right now we have about 3 million votes of the 5.22 million that are up, and they're out there for all of you to see, plus all of America. So that is about 60%. There's a few more that are happening. This is the first time we put into state law that people had an hour to get those up from the counties, and by and large, most of them hit that mark. So they made great progress. I'm glad that we've added the accountability measure, because I wanted to make sure that counties could perform to the voters' expectations. So we're going to continue on tonight, continue to just watch the process, and it gets a little bit slower now. Once you hit 60%, then it'll be 62, 64, 68, and just continue to roll up. But we've got all the big 4 metro counties. Most of Gwinnett's are up now. DeKalb, Fulton, and Cobb's are up from the early votes and the absentees. So we'll just continue the process, and ready for any questions you might have.
How do you think it helps voter confidence to get these early vote numbers up early like this?
Well, I think it's just they see that that's a big number that we have already posted, 3 million votes. There's only 5.22 total, so another 2 million to go. And a lot of that is actually what happened today, 1.2, so we'll just get the rest of those up. It just builds confidence. Years ago, we didn't have accountability, and I made sure we got that into accountability of the counties, but also we came alongside them. So I didn't just want accountability, but we got that in there with SB 202. We came alongside of them, so it was a little bit carrots and sticks. So we had accountability, but we gave them tools so that they could be successful. So we think that's important, builds voter confidence, and that builds trust.
About 75% of the votes then would be early voting, absentee voting. We've only got, as you said, about 66% now. Why the gap in not getting all of those counted?
This is the first time that we put that in state law, and by and large, most of the counties have done it, but there's just been a few counties that are just waiting for getting it done. But we're going to wait and see how that all shakes out at the end, and we'll come back next session and work with the General Assembly. But we think it's good that we put into state law finally. We never had that standard before. And so you get people that said, why does it matter? It does matter, because voters expect, really, they want 100% done by 10 o'clock. And that would be a high standard. We're not there yet, but you're going to see great results. I guess a posting of the results. You may not like the results depending on what side of the aisle you're on, but we're getting those to you as soon as we can. So, any other questions?
At this stage, are you satisfied with the speed that the batches of ballots have come in?
Well, we haven't hit the mark 100%, so no, we demand 100%. You demand 100% performance from us, and we demand that 100% from the counties. But this is the first time we put that into state law, and if you look at it, we're already at 60%. So, and they are coming in, constant uploads of everyone. And some of those are partials, and so the rest will follow, very quickly.
Have the county said what the challenge is in getting those staffing, technology, just training?
It's just one of those things. It's the first time that, many of them had to, learn that, but that's something that we can circle back on afterwards.
Have any suspects been identified in the bombing threats to this point?
None that I'm aware of.
From your perspective, what impact did the threats today have on the election in Georgia?
None. We worked through it. We're resilient, battle-tested. Yes?
A lot of us have 11 o'clock shows. We hope to hear from you before then about how much, a percentage, if you could give us a number,
Sure.
do you expect to be?
Now, how soon am I supposed to come out here then? I just want to know,
We'll take you anytime if you want to come back. But do you have a percentage where we could be at, before, especially before midnight?
wait and see, but I'll be out before your 11 o'clock show. How's that? Then we'll have some numbers for you.
Can
Thanks
you
so
elaborate
much.
really quickly about the bomb threats as well? Can you elaborate just?
We kind of beat that issue to death, so we're moved forward.
Mr. Chairman, I have
The
one-
county still performed in spite of all that. So, we're pleased that they didn't let that, burden them down too much. So that's good to go.
Mr. Secretary, one